every day I will spend time exploring each of the tools, what they can do. Life is designed, right? And there's nothing that they're real that is not designed.
Absolutely. 100.
Nothing.
Nothing.
That is where I come to the conclusion that the best way to live is at every phase of life that you are, just enjoy it. Design is problem solving. The last part of design is the tool. The last part of design is putting the pixels together. Your design approach for different platforms has to be different, but the principle still remains the same.
Makes sense.
When I write things out, I can see them. So once I can see them, I can achieve it.
You're only able to create what you've seen. You can't create something that you're not exposed to.
So I just started learning different things, and that curiosity was there. And before you know it, I expanded to buy like different Adobe softwares. The more AI content flood this space, the more there will be craving for what is real.
Absolutely.
And the more what is real will have more value. As human, our soul is not designed to be satisfied by what can be seen or what can be felt, right? Our soul is designed to be satisfied by.
Before we dive into today's episode, I have one little ask of you. Please take a moment to subscribe to the channel. This is the only one free way to support what we're doing. If you've been enjoying the stories that we've been telling or just enjoying the content, please just take a moment to subscribe to the channel and make sure that you also share with someone who could benefit from these conversations. There's still so much for us to achieve, and I think that by doing this together, we can build so much together. We will do everything in the best of our ability to bring you the best guests, the best conversations, the best episodes. I sincerely appreciate every single one of you. Thank you so much. All right, let's dive into the episode. Okay. Hi, Francis. How's it going?
I'm good. Hi, Mo.
Yeah. Good to see you. Thank you for coming on the podcast session. First of all, my name is Mo. For our viewers, my name is Mo, and this is the Hungry Creative Podcast. Today's session is another exciting and I'll say a new guest, of course, who is a writer, is a founder, is a designer, is a number of things. And I think it would be, it would be good to hear what he has to tell us today. I think he has some interesting stories from some of the content he's been sharing on his social platforms. I think we'll be blessed to have to get a few nuggets and a few pointers to, what inspires those very, deep posts on LinkedIn especially. So yeah, Francis, how you doing? And it's good to have you on the session today. What's going on?
Hi, Mo. Thank you for reaching out. And yeah, it's good to be here.
Okay, so just to jump right into it, I think the first thing that caught my attention in your work is, I think, your storytelling through your LinkedIn articles, which, I think probably most people in the Nigerian design and tech space have seen at least maybe one of your posts or two at some point. You can see how it's interesting to see that perspective from a designer's point of view, from a tech founders or founders and designers point of view. We tend to see more about showcasing your work, but I think your content comes from a place of reflection and introspection, if I'm correct. So I think my first question would be that very post that I think I saw that made me reach out to you. What was going through your mind when you made that post?
Okay, so I think the post you're referring to is one I made that said, I think the title of the post is, what will you do when you have everything you ever wanted too early? And in the post, I explained a conversation I had with a friend of mine a week. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. So let me even just tell you the story.
Yeah.
So I had a conversation with a friend of mine that week, and this friend joined Meta. At the time, I wanted to join Meta. So, and we're speaking, and we're just telling me that, he left Meta, and also he just left Apple. So he just left his role at Apple. And I'm just like, guy, this is people's dream job. So he went on and explained why he made that decision and how at the moment he's on a career break and everything. And I personally have always known that as human, we are not designed, our soul is not designed to be satisfied by what can be seen or what can be felt, right? Our soul is designed to be satisfied by something eternal. And what that look like essentially is over time. So I love to think a lot and I love to self-reflect a lot. When I started my career, at some point I was earning 30K. At some point I was doing logo design for 30K. No, I actually started from 5K. No, 1.5 to 5K to 15K to 30K to 150K to 500K to
We
for
know.
EFCC sake.
We know.
So, and I remember at every point of those successes, I always wanted more, right? And even life in general. So I'm from Ile-Ife, Osun State. I moved to Lagos a couple of years ago, like in 2018. And in Osun, I was already doing well as a designer. I even have like a design studio and all these things. And essentially, the quest for I want more, I want to do more. That is where most of us find ourselves today. We just want that more. And before you know it, when you get there, you realize that, okay, all this for what? Yeah, so I've always had that reflection, and that is where I come to the conclusion that the best way to live is at every phase of life that you are, just enjoy it, right? Just be in the moment and enjoy the moment, right? And at every phase that life presents to you, you enjoy it, and you don't allow those phases of life to become your identity. Rather, you see them as just a way of life to live by.
Interesting. You said nothing in this world can satisfy you. So you're saying that even when people get like their dream jobs, their dream careers, their dream houses, cars, whatever, are you saying that at that point that people still feel like there's still something that they still want? Did you have like any kind of personal experience with anyone that got to that stage and they felt like there was still something left? Can you give us an example of such?
Yes. I think the first thing is there's nothing like dream anything, right? So I say that to say that you only dream of what your mind can conceive, right? Like you only dream of what you can see. So what you cannot see, you cannot dream about. You cannot dream of it. So meaning that at every dream job, your heart, your soul was open to a particular form of light. So if you get to level 2, the light you used to see to get to level 2 will not be enough again, right? And you get to level 3, right? And before you know it, you continue and you die. Think about it. We have Dangote. Why is he still pursuing? Why does he still have a pursuit for more? Think about Apple. Think about like things we can relate, like companies we can relate with. Why did they want to remain on top? Because again, it's the way this world is designed. I have friends that they are doing so well and they literally are living a life that most people aspire to live. And when I talk to them, I sometimes see how empty these people are. And when I say empty now, it's in different ways. What satisfies everybody is different. So for example, I know friends that in the course of doing a lot of things, they've lose themselves. And when I say losing yourself now, I'm not saying they sell their soul to devil or Satan and all these things. I mean, they lose touch with things they do that makes them, right? And in the pursuit of these things. So it can be as simple as every evening I take long walks. Every evening, it can be as simple as every so and so I have dinner with my friends. Every day, like those things that does not add ego to you, or those things that does not add anything, but things that just make you human. I know someone that she cannot walk in her estate in peace anymore. And it's also like allowing yourself to be soaked with the external without focusing on the internal. Because at the end of the day, it's what you have inside of you that provide what you see external. So our focus should be more internal. And the more we do that, the more we take care of that, our inner self, the more we're able to even live a more well-fulfilled life. My goal in this life is, after all has been said and done, to become a farmer. Yeah. What would be like a fulfilled life for me is after all this, just be on like maybe like 100 acres of land somewhere, right? And have like a greenhouse and have different ecosystem interacting with one another. And when I say different ecosystem, I mean there's biological, like different ecosystem, really, from me having animals to poultry to farm to just having living healthy, right? Like that has always been my thing.
Yeah. I get that.
And this is just a means to an end. Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm getting it now. I'm getting your drift on this topic now. And it makes a lot of sense. It does make a lot of sense. I get what exactly you're talking about. I think Will Smith was the one talking about when you're trying to climb a mountain. I'm paraphrasing now. When you're trying to climb a mountain and then you're looking at it like, oh my God, this mountain is so high. Can I even get there? And then you get there and like, okay, this is good, but is this it? You know? So is this it? Like I've done it. What's next? So I think it also this topic is also very close to what this podcast also stands for, is the hunger of every creative and every person, not just a creative, but any person, any professional working towards a goal, building something, whilst also like building and trying to achieve everything, to still be grounded in some way, to still remain grounded and close to home, to their heart, to the things that actually matter. I get it. We're on the same page. Okay. So I think I skipped introducing yourself. Actually, I did a bit of introduction for you, but like I said, we are not like a chronological podcast. Sometimes we can just jump right into it and then we can go back into, introducing yourself. But I'd like you to introduce yourself how you like to be introduced. Maybe you can tell our listeners and our viewers, like, okay, who is Francis?
Hi guys, my name is Francis Odeyemi. I'm first human.
No AI.
No,
AI.
I'm human. I'm human and for work. So my title has evolved over time, right?
Sure.
Right. But I still love to introduce myself as a designer because life is designed, right? And there's nothing that there is that is not designed.
Absolutely. 100.
Nothing.
Nothing.
So with that explanation, I'm a designer with over a decade of design experience. Throughout my career, I've been privileged to work with teams in the US, in the UK, in Nigeria, and my career shifted over the years. So from being a graphic designer to being a brand designer to being a product designer to being a product manager, now also to being a photographer. Now I'm privileged to lead a team.
Creative.
Now I'm privileged to lead a team. We're on a team at ninth grade. At ninth grade, we have two parts of us. We have the agency arm, where we build softwares for businesses, and also we have line of products. So we have our stock image platform, which is also called ninth grade, and we also have our event ticketing app, which is called Tika as well. So yeah, apart from work, I love life. I love to cycle a lot. I have a bike. I just love to cycle for like 2 hours. I just love to cycle. I also enjoy long walks, and I also love to write. I love to write a lot, and I'm also privileged to also like use the word guide other people on their path, from like designers to founders to creative people. People think the insight I share are insightful to them. So I'm privileged to like also do that as well. So that's me. And two last parts. I only wear black shirts. Yeah, you don't know that. So you not check through my Instagram.
I actually didn't know that, no.
I only wear black shirts. And
okay.
I've been wearing black shirts like since like 2017. So it's been that long. I only wear black wears, and I love food. I love to eat. I love to enjoy food.
Do you cook?
Because I think it is very important. Yeah, I cook.
Very well.
Very well.
I did make a point about hunger and the podcast again. I think one thing that unites any person, any creative and any curious person is the hunger. And anyone building anything is really the hunger that drives you to just go all the way to do everything that you need to do to build, to create whatever you're creating. And I think this is just across board. Every person that is alive is passionate about something and they are building something. So you mentioned cycling. I would like to ask a few questions about cycling and Please. Lagos, especially.
A lot of people ask that question.
Because I love cycling, but even where I am now, I don't even cycle because I'm a couch potato right now. I work from home all the time. I do other forms of cardio. I do food. I do other things like I work out. I also do football. But cycling is. I used to cycle at the beginning, but yeah, it got. It got like we had winter as well, so I couldn't even cycle during winter. But anyway, cycling in Nigeria, what is that like? And how chaotic is it, or how interesting is it?
So I have a group I cycled with, but I enjoy solo cycling a lot.
Okay.
Right. I enjoy that a lot. So, when you're cycling in a group, definitely there's a car behind you ensuring that everybody's safe and all. But most of what I do, I love solo. So, cycling in Lagos make me realize that most people drive, but they don't see you. Like, people don't, their mind is not on what they are doing. Like, they're not present. Like, yeah. So sometimes driving has become like muscle memory to some people, right? Because I've had some experiences. I'm just like, thank you, Jesus. There's one time I had a crash.
Wow.
I had a crash. Actually, I think that was recent. That crash was caused by me because a day before I had pumped my tire, but the pressure was too much. So I did not notice that. So the back pressure was more than the front pressure. And when I'm cycling, I love to cycle. Like I was on speed and I wanted to make a U-turn.
Do you have a road bike or a mountain bike?
I have an hybrid bike.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like a gravel bike. I have a Scots bike. My bike is a Scots bike. Yeah, you can check it out after now.
Okay.
I have a Scots bike. Yeah. Just to answer that, not bad. It's interesting. I think wherever you find yourself, just adjust to whatever is happening there. And I try not to cycle in a place that I can be hit. I don't know. Do you know Lagos Business School?
Lagos Business School. That's Aja now.
Yeah, like far than Aja.
Far
than Aja. So like sometimes I can just pick my bike. Oh, I cycle there. Like
from where?
From Chevron.
Okay. You cycle. Okay.
From Chevron. I can just go there and come back.
Wow.
Or just go inside Adobadore and just cycle up and down.
Wow. Okay.
I'm planning a trip soon to cycle from my house to Ojota on the mainland.
Wow.
Let's see how that will go. But yeah, it's just fun. Cycling keeps you focused. Like when you're cycling, you have to be present. It's the only form of exercise that I do. I just have to be present. Even when I'm cycling, I don't use any earpiece, AirPod. I don't do anything. I just want to feel the environment and think. So I also use cycling to think as well.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Let's go to the next segment. So talking about your work now, you are a founder, as you mentioned, and you are building 9th grade, which you said is the Shutterstock of Africa. Yeah. What has that journey been like?
It's been a lot. 9th grade as a stock platform started with that desire for diversity and representation. If you agree with me, you're also a designer. Those days, when I say those days, now I'm talking about like 2017, when you want to, even till now, but it was very rampant then, when you want to use images for campaigns or creatives, realize that you have to download an image from Shutterstock, start using Dodge and Bond 2 on Photoshop, Dodge and Bond 2 on Photoshop to ensure that the contrast, the bond, you're turning a white woman to a dark woman, right? Because there's not a lot of representation in that. And I work in companies and agencies where I see how much they pay for Shutterstock just to keep the agency alive for digital assets. I worked in a company where I worked in a phone company where I know the effort it takes to localize anything that comes from the US and all these things, just to localize. And on one fateful day, I was working on a design for a client. It was you need a particular type of image. And I went on Shutterstock and on some similar platform. I could not find those images. And a friend of mine was sitting in front of me. And I had my iPhone 6 then. And I told her what to do. Post this way, post that way. And she did. And I took the picture, edited it with Lightroom, used it in the design. And the client said, yes, this works. I'm like, interesting. So the journey started. And I started creating images on Unsplash. So if you go on Unsplash and search for Francis Odeyemi, you'll see my profile pop up. So I started creating images on Unsplash. And from that, like in creating from Unsplash, my images had over like 10 million engagements and over like 50,000 downloads. And I'm just like, okay. And the image I will create, I'll just see random people, convince them. I think I know how to sell. Convince them and say, and I was shooting everything with my iPhone.
Wow.
Yeah. And it had that engagement. I'm like, okay, there's a market here. This is impressive. And even MailChimp reached out to like commission one of the image on my platform. I'm like, okay, this is good. And I just started building, right? I just started like put the design together, see what works and what does not work and all. From that, the main challenge that we had, one of the main challenges that we had is that was content. We had to, God bless some of the people that work with me earlier in building Night Grid, because sometimes we had to go to these contributors physically, take our drive to copy images from them, because our goal was to launch with 10,000 images when we wanted to launch.
Okay.
Right. Okay. So the problem was not the platform, right? The issue is how do we get content on this platform? So we devised, we created a growth strategy, which I would say that it came to me in a place of meditation. And I was just like, okay, so how do we get this done? And I realized that, okay, so the strategy was scout some photographers and that was done. And we had to even literally I remember that one of our team members had to travel to Abuja to get some of those images from some persons there. Wow. And we also now started creating images. So I also started directing some shoots. Again, I'm a photographer. So I started directing some shoots, creating mood board with those things, and the next thing is, because we had images, we had for volunteers. Again, God bless those guys. We had volunteers that help us upload those images, because what we also noticed is that Nigerians don't actively focus on what does not give them money. So we had to do some image upload ourselves. When that comes to tagging, distribution, writing descriptions, ensuring that these contents are well labeled and all these things. Another roadblock. So yeah. So we were able to do that, and this is over we came out of beta last year to just see things, and this is close to a year now that we are out publicly. It has not been bad. We have access to things people search on our platform, and when you just see a lot of things that people search, you're like, okay, there's still lots of way to go in this. So our goal is to keep increasing our content bank as much as possible. And also we've launched illustrations, right? Okay. We now have illustrations on our platform. If you go to our platform now, you can see illustrations of Amala, Eba, things that are more Afrocentric. You can see illustrations of bread and akara. You can see illustrations of ashoke. So we ensure that what we have are more culturally diverse. And we're also pushing out stock videos soon as well. We already have some of those content. I just want to ensure that it reaches some certain numbers, because I love to work with numbers before we push them out. So yeah, Night Grid as a stock image platform. The journey has not been the best, but it has been rewarding so far. And the joy is when I see people use our images and our stock images, illustrations. I'm just like, yo, that thing came from our platform. And it has been a rewarding journey so far.
Amazing. Well done building. It's good to hear the story of building something like that. And I do know that it's
not a popular market.
It isn't. That's what I was going to say, that it's not something that is popular, and it takes a lot of audacity to try to go into that space without any pointers, with a lot of examples of similar offerings.
I get that. I get that.
So what's your vision for this venture? What's your vision really for this Night Grid? Okay.
So as I mentioned earlier, we have two paths, the agency and the product end. So for the agency, the goal is to be that platform, that studio that helps business build core technologies in Africa to grow, for them to generate revenue. So because of my over 10 years of experience in design, tech, and products. Any product I work on personally, so I used to tell my internal team that our work should be for two things. Our work should serve as inspiration, and our work also should serve as revenue driven, like meaning that when people that want to use that platform use the platform, the experience is so good and they like the platform, meaning that it's functioning well, it's working well, everything is in place, and our work should be for inspiration, meaning that other studios, other designers see the work and be like, wow, who did this? They can use that as inspiration for their work, right? And literally that's like, those are like the major goals for the ecosystem, or serve as inspiration of, okay, this product was built out of Nigeria, out of Lagos, and it's so good. And for the user or for the clients, it serves their user and ultimately help them make like more revenue. With our product line, starting with 9grid as a stock platform, the goal is to increase diversity. Like the goal is to be that one-stop shop for Afrocentric visuals. So the goal is to have that platform that helps you optimize your workflow as a creative person. Like if you literally need a sound for CMS, you can get it on the platform. If you need anything to augment your creative process in creating, because as a creator, when you're creating, you need assets, right? Visual assets,
sounds,
audio,
hooks,
sound, different things.
Yeah,
so our goal is to be that
templates.
one-stop shop
Nice.
for everything to augment your creative process. So, and we have a bunch of things in pipeline with our tools and all, but essentially that's the goal, from providing content and tool to improve your creative journey. And we being like the engine that powers that, right? And even that sounds also with AI. So because we have like some things in pipeline for AI to increase like representation in these LLM trainings and all, meaning that, you know, most of these LLMs are not trained with Afrocentric data sets. So the goal is to provide like more Afrocentric data sets for LLM trainings, so that it removes biases and there can be more diversity in the inputs or in the outputs this LLM produces.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. This leads me to this question about the last thing you mentioned, which is AI. Yeah, this is a very close to home topic in the current discussions, and also speaking of the fact that there's a place for optimizing using AI to your advantage and all that, but there's also the part of it that is like, okay, is there intellectual property theft, or is it taking the place of creatives, or is it replacing, you know, the work of creatives? If you go on Splash now, or if you go on Free Pick, you see like a lot of AI generated content, heavy on AI generated content. You can even generate content with AI there. So what's your own position on this? Generally, what's your position on AI, and how are you like using it for building what you're building now?
Okay, so the first thing is AI is here, and AI is here to stay. Yeah, right. And at the moment, personally, when I knew that AI is like AI is here and AI is taking people, like AI will replace a bunch of people. I'm sorry to say that. Like AI, I'm actually not sorry to say that, but AI will replace a lot of people. The earlier we start using it for what it is, the better. It's just like every piece of technology, right? For us to build on. So personally, I use AI for augmentation. So I use it to augment my workflow a lot. So for example is, so there's some things in design process that can be very funny, especially when I do user flows, right? Because I still do user flow when we are doing anything. So I still do user flow, I still do user journey and all. So a practical way I use AI is, after I've written the PRD and everything, it's just, I use Figma AI to generate user flows a lot with prompting. I also use AI for PRD with descriptions and everything. And I know how to use AI to give me the result I want, right? I also use AI for research and, you know, just to optimize my workflow as much as possible, right? I don't use AI for writing. I use to correct grammars and all, right? But I don't say, I want to talk about this, generate this. Nah. And the reason is because AI is not supposed to take your brain. It's supposed to make you work better, right? So I use AI on personal level for augmentation, and I'm literally like learning some things now. In the next 2 weeks, I'll be building some personal AI agents for myself. So there are some things I do on a day-to-day as an individual that is kind of redundant. For example, I post on my social media, like I post on LinkedIn, right? I usually have a workflow that automates posting, and like if there's any important comment, you can always let me know. I'll reply to it. If I have DMs and needs my attention, because I receive a bunch of DMs that sometimes I miss opportunities. So, for example, one time like that, Uber reached out to me. I missed that till I now checked. Oh, this is a recruiter from Uber.
You need that assistant like yesterday. You are the one that needs that assistant like yesterday.
No, but this was before AI thing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, eventually I reached out to the recruiter and all these things.
Yeah.
But I think they're like, the role has been filled, or they're no longer pursuing that role or something. For 9th grade, we have AI. We use AI to augment our workflow as well, right?
Okay.
In-house. And before we pull to that, we built down, because we noticed that biases, right? So we used to use AI to describe our images.
Okay.
So what that means is, so we implement a scenario whereby when you upload your image, the AI will look into your image and describe what's in your image for description. So over time, we now realize that when you upload images that are more Afrocentric, AI just generalizes it. It's not niched. Like it will just say African food, not Eba.
It doesn't have data.
Not Amala, right?
Yeah.
So we have that before. We now pull it down, right?
Okay.
So we have, and the thing is, because it's not smart yet, and what we are trying to do is discoverability. Like one of the things we're trying to do is discoverability for Afrocentric images. So you can literally go on our platform now and type Ashoke. Images will come out under Ashoke. Right. So that's for augmentation. On the development end, we use AI a lot to ensure that our workflow is faster and our development is faster for ideation and all these things. We have some AI products in the pipeline that I may not talk about, right? But the goal is, yes, we're using AI. AI is here to stay. And we even onboard AI creators on our platform. So if you go on our platform too, you see AI generated images.
Okay.
On our platform as well. So we onboard AI creators because, to be honest with you, these tools are not cheap. Like, these AI tools are not cheap. Right? So on an average, an AI tool, you're paying $30 a month to generate images. And to get the best,
think so as well.
And to get the best of an AI tool, especially when it comes to image generation and all, you need to be paying like $200 a month or close to like $100 a month, right? And even at that self, it requires you be good at prompting. It requires a bunch of things. Do you get? I know companies that reach out to us because we also help companies create image banks for their marketing. I know companies that reach out to us to create image banks for them because the AI they are using is not giving them enough. So AI is here to stay. It's just to see how best to use AI to augment work and processes as much as possible. And AI is your best friend, really. So, but majorly is, and I also have this hypothesis that the more AI content flood this space, the more there will be craving for what is real.
Absolutely.
And the more what is real will have more value. Right? Because the training you are, for example, now, what's the training they are doing with AI, everything is looking at like each other. Like you can easily just tell these are AI generated images. Why? Because it has the same field, the same contrast, the same lighting, the same light direction and all. But as you now go, you're now like, okay, I think we need something more relatable, something more what people can identify.
I think I shared such a similar perspective with someone yesterday as well when I was having a conversation about AI. And I was like, I think in the next few years, human generated content is going to become more valuable. I mean, because obviously this is just how things work. Like demand and supply, too much supply is eventually going to lead to it's not going to be as valuable again. And then what is now less in supply will become more valuable and premium.
That is where I'm looking at.
That's what you're
where
looking
I'm
at.
going. That's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
It's a long time game. We're here for the next 10 years and infinity.
Love it. Lovely perspective, Francis. Again, I think I agree with you on your resolution on the AI thing. I think there's a place for AI. AI is here to stay, but I think it's also good to look at it as something that can help you rather than something that can now be your voice instead of using it to your advantage. I think that's where I am as well. Moving forward now, I think we'd like to take a step back into like knowing you more as a person. Where was your first experience with design, your first interaction with design? What was your upbringing like? Where did you grow up? What was your family like? Did you used to roll tires? Did you grow up in Lekki, Koyi?
No.
You know, are you Nepo or are you Lapo? I think people want to know because I don't know if you've really shared that part of your story. I don't think I've seen that on your LinkedIn, but I think people would like to know. I think people want to know, who is this Francis guy? Just always dropping inspirational quotes and writings on LinkedIn. So let's know more about him. So tell us who is Francis.
Okay, so that's interesting. No, I did not grow up in Lekki. I did not grow up in Lagos. So I grew up in Osun State. I grew up in Ile-Ife in Osun State, and
son of the soil.
Well, I don't know that.
I mean,
yeah, I know
Ile-Ife is the home of Yorubas.
Yes, and it's believed to be the source of the word as well. I always love to point that out.
When I say son of the soil, I know what I was saying.
Ile-Ife is literally pronounced, it's literally called Ile-Ife, like Ile-Ife rather, like Ile-Ife, like the land of expansion.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can read that up. You can
go and verify. Go and verify.
I'm not an historian, but yeah, so okay. I've read a lot of things about that. So I grew up in Ile-Ife, Osun State, and like all my life was in Osun until I also schooled in Osun State as well until 2018 when I moved to Lagos. So I only moved to Lagos in 2018, but I grew up in Osun State, Ile-Ife, and I help my mom in a shop, drug markets, Oja Tuntun. They call it Oja Tuntun. And my mom sells provisions, so a bunch of things. And I'm always curious about, how Bonfita carton were made, like the designs and all these things. But also NASCO conflicts, the design of those things. But that doesn't really speak to me very well. But I like those things. So, and I started playing with a computer. There's this fateful day I saw, what's it called? I saw picture collage. That's 4 images or 3 images in one frame. I saw that, and I saw that on a friend's phone. And at that time, I was using Nokia C1. And I was like, I really love this thing, and how can I get it done? And at that time, we used to use platforms like Cephane Dostru, Waptrick to those are the places you will get cheats, know how to and all. And this time I was talking about is around 2011, 2010 and all. And the guy was like, oh, that he created this with, and that was the time of BlackBerry. So he created it with BlackBerry, created it on an app called PixArt. I'm like, oh, okay. And I don't have a BlackBerry. I had a Nokia C1, is a Java phone at that time. So I went online, and these are the days where 10 MB can last you for 1 week. So I went online, Google it, and I was told that for me to be able to achieve this, is that I have a BlackBerry or I have a Photoshop on my system. Oh, I have Photoshop. I'm like, oh, what's Photoshop? So I now went online again. I saw Photoshop. So, okay, fine. So I now went to Mayfair. Mayfair is in Ile-Ife. It's called Mayfair. It's around Lagere in Ile-Ife. So I bought a disk to install Photoshop on my sister's laptop. I bought the disk for 75 naira. And I bought a disk called Photoshop 7.0. And that was I think that was one of the first version of Photoshop. So I got that disk, and I bought tutorials as well. Tutorials, they're always formatted in disks then. lynda.com, just different people doing tutorials before this whole wave of BlackBerry of YouTube. So I bought those discs and I started watching tutorials, and I realized that. So I find a way to figure out to do that on what's it called, on Photoshop. I'm like, yo, I did this on Photoshop, and I'm like, okay, what else can I do with this software? Right. So like every day I will spend time exploring this, like each of the tools, what they can do. I can create like cloud. I created all those elements. You know, these days now people have like background that you can download. No, all those elements I created it myself on Photoshop. So I just started learning different things, and that curiosity was there. And before you know it, I expanded to buy like different Adobe softwares like Dreamweaver, Adobe Contribute, Adobe Flash, Adobe Micromedia, all these tools. I just started learning them. And until one of these days in 2013, a church reached out to me. They want to have a revival. And and they said, oh, I should design their revival banner and all these things. And as at then, I used to post my work on to go on different things, right? Just like I'm always happy to just work and post my work. And also like and there's this platform there on Facebook. Yeah, I post my work there too. And they reach out and they pay me like 18,000 naira to design this banner. And mind you, I was in Ile-Ife. I was still at Ile-Ife, so I did not have any external exposure. That there's somewhere called Lagos to like and it was weird because there's a lot of people doing that thing in that my area or in that environment. People are doing typesets and people use mappings, beacons a lot.
Yeah. So that was the thing then.
They reach out, they pay 18,000 naira. I designed the banners, I printed. I still kept like 10K to myself. And that was a lot of money. And this was in 2013. It's a lot of money. I'm like, there's something here. So I stopped learning web design and I focus on graphic design. Because I realized that for you to be good at web, you have to know user experience. Now, it's not called user experience, but then is
web design.
No good color and all these things. So I just started, and out of curiosity, so I started learning and all. And I started coming to Lagos. When I entered school, I started coming to Lagos from 2014 to attend conferences, meetups. So I'll meet with designers, we'll go back, meet with designers, go back, meet with designers, go back, until I got a job in 2018 and I moved to Lagos. And when I moved to Lagos, the journey continued. So that's like the shortest version of how I got started. Shorter version, because there are key moments and key people and all. So I moved to Lagos and I got a job in Lagos and I started like just working as well. Well, yeah, today. So I transitioned from being just a graphic designer to a brand designer to a product designer to understanding things in products to now leading a team. So at some point, I shot videos for like a year. Like I still have some of work I did on YouTube for a particular person. I shot videos for a year. I did digital marketing. I did photography. At some point, I was producing beats with Fruity Loops. I just did a bunch of all these things.
I thought I've been around, but I think you are.
I never liked CorelDRAW.
I did like CorelDRAW at some point, but I'm so. I don't think I can even use it now. Like, yeah.
I never liked CorelDRAW. When I'm training people, I used to train them.
Everybody used
I use Photoshop. No.
Really?
Because I used Photoshop from day one. After that, I moved to add.
But you have to use CorelDRAW for print, though.
I used to use Illustrator.
Okay, you used to use Illustrator. Okay, fair.
And InDesign. Do you know InDesign?
Yeah.
I missed
InDesign a lot. Really?
Yeah, InDesign for editorial designs. For magazines and all these things.
Magazines.
Because at the time I was working at an agency and that software was required as well. So just learn. But these days, all of our head is in Figma. You're sad.
Figma is taking the place. I want to ask you a question, right of this, just talking about software again. If you were to advise a new creative who is just coming into design, now that they are like curious about, there's so many software out there. There's even one called Affinity.
Yeah, that's what my friend used.
There's Affinity as well. There's Figma, there's Illustrator, there's the whole Adobe suite.
And there's now,
if you were to advise someone
Canva.
now, there's Canva, but Canva is not
What's
design.
What's Canva?
It's not for designer.
Thank you.
Canva is for creators.
For people. Thank you.
Yeah, Canva.
You understand
Canva is for creators.
You understand my. If anybody's learning design, I will
it's
not
so limiting. No, it's not like I use Canva, but not as a designer, right? I use it as a creator.
I don't even use Canva, but sadly, my marketing team, I have to create some templates for them on Canva. But it's always
Canva is a struggle for me
to. It's always a struggle for me to navigate. I have to be searching elements. You don't get where you can just open. I can just quickly open something, put things together, and
you can actually import things into it. You can drop things into it.
I will have done that.
PNGs. You can drop.
Bro, I will have
it's
done
actually
that.
quite. I'll say this: it's not a designer's tool, but it's a creator's tool. That's my submission.
You said that.
It's a creator's tool. Yeah, I use almost everything, so I know how Canva works. Canva is good for quick turnaround.
Back to your question about what software we advise anybody entering the design scene now. Honestly, go and learn foundations. Like,
what are the foundations?
Go and learn design principles. It's not about the tool, right? Go and learn design principles. Go and study design. Go and study like people's work. Read case studies. People these days don't read anymore. Go to Google Design. Read about their design processes. Those, like, when I say those days now, then I read about like all these big companies. They have sessions for their design. Meta has Meta Design, right? Read about. Because design is problem solving. The last part of design is the tool. Like the last part of design is, and I'm going to explain. The last part of design is putting the pixels together. The first part of design is figuring out what to design. It even like goes to different form of design, right? For example, if a client approaches us now that they want to build an app, the first thing is not to go into Figma and design. Like Figma is the last end of the game.
I get it.
Right. So that's the point I'm coming from. So you want to understand what makes a design first. When you understand that, you can now there's also the mastering of the two. Totally, that cannot be outruled. But the first thing is knowing what to design. And that comes from studying cognitive science, cognitive behavior, human psychology, color psychology, color theory, hierarchy, spacing, like just learning principle of design.
Yeah.
Right. And when you understand this, you can now know when to apply it and how to apply it. And that is where tool comes in. Right. I believe as a designer, don't niche yourself to want to, because Figma is ready today. You don't know what will happen tomorrow. Right. So now there is Figma, right? There is Framer, there is Webflow. So the goal as a designer is don't box yourself into one tool, right? Be good at one tool and weekend, just play around. Because every company you work for, they have what they use. You'll be shocked that not all companies use Figma till now.
True.
So you want to adopt. When I joined an agency, the only tool I could use then was Photoshop. Because that was what I was using. But when I got to the agency, you have to use CorelDRAW.
You have to start picking up different
tools.
You
just have to adjust to it. And same way even with video editing, I can use different video editing software as well, based on what the job requires.
Right. It's been really interesting hearing your perspective and thoughts about software and design. I think I also share similar sentiments about, advising people if they are to go into design, about studying design theory, but I also want to know or ask and also maybe contribute to this, that one thing I also tell people that come my way is exposure is like something. There's an analogy about what you see and your reality. Like you're only able to create what you've seen. You can't create something that you're not exposed to. So something is happening in like somewhere far away in the world, but you don't know about it. You don't know how the skylines of Bali look like. You don't know what the trees in Indonesia looks like. how can you bring that knowledge or exposure into creating something that you that in Nigeria or maybe in any other country is. So that's why they say either travel or read or watch or listen, just
or schedule call randomly with someone and ask about their design process and everything.
That's also part of it.
I think when we had our pre-call, I was sharing my journey at Facebook.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So but one thing that stood out for me in that part essentially was, so when we got into that program, into the Facebook thing, the way Facebook approached design and everything, I had that experience firsthand with the designer I work with at Facebook. And when she was sharing a bunch of things, and then I realized that, okay, what I was used to is different from what they are used to.
Exactly.
So I was so eager to learn what that looks like, and to now see how can I bring an hybrid of that to my workflow. Right. Before then, I don't used to do documentation though. I used to do some things, but after that, I realized that I was able to leave my design, and somebody else will come, and they can be able to understand the design without contacting me. Like everything is properly done. I realized that okay, so you design, your design approach for different platform has to be different, but the principle still remains the same.
Makes sense. Amazing. I hope that our viewers and listeners have been inspired or have learned something from this episode. It's been really nice listening to you. I know we can't pack everything into this conversation. So in your write-up, you emphasized learning to enjoy every phase, okay? And not rushing to the next goal. So my question is that what habits help you to stay present and enjoy the current season that you're in?
A couple of them. The first thing is being open-minded. And how that plays out is when I'm in a situation, when I'm in an event, I'm not quick to have assumptions. I'm quick to, let's see how this plays out. And in seeing how that plays out, just help me to like, okay, follow the frequency of whatever is happening. Like use that to gather information before I now make my decision. Rather than I'm here, this is how this happened yesterday, this is how this thing happened today. I don't do that data matching. And I think the other thing is, can be very simple, but I love to write my to-do like every day. Like I've been writing to-do every day since like 2017. So it gives me clarity. Like our session today is in my to-do. I can screenshot to you out, and it helped me to be clear-headed. Like when I write things out, I can see them. So once I can see them, I can achieve it. Right. So I write that out. And I think maybe the last thing is being grateful. Right. So I try as much as possible not to have sense of entitlement a lot. Right. So I'm not entitled to how a situation turns out. I can be responsible for it, but I'm not entitled to it. I think that makes sense. So
makes sense.
I can be responsible. I'm not entitled, because when you're entitled, that means you already have expectations. And when expectation is not met, it tampers with your heart. It causes resentment. And when resentment happen, offense happen, it shields you from the blessing you can receive from whatever situation. And you're just still the same as a person. Because over time, the way we've turned out over time is we've turned out over time based on the societal definition of things. Most of us go to school because when we're born in society, that was the blueprint for success, and that's the acceptance. So most times now when I introduce myself, I just introduce myself as I'm human and my name. So I will not set any expectation. People with our conviction and all, there's an expectation. And with that, we're losing our humanity, right? Because me, I want to gist with you on a guy alpha level. Without telling me that you're MD at Shell, you're Kiniko, have to be cautious about a lot. It creates. So approaching ourselves as humans, with me sometimes we're just careless. What you're thinking now is on your thoughts. You've been fed. And that is why as human, it's always good to retreat, even if it's once a week. And when I say retreat now, just an average person has not spent time with himself for like 2 hours before. Like you're just alone. You're just with yourself. We call it boredom, but in boredom comes a lot of things. Like, think about it. See, I was reading
The
about.
generator is ready to be dragged.
I was thinking about. So because I love to read a lot and watch a lot about people that has come before me, right? So I was reading about Nikola Tesla. I mean, that guy is one of my greatest person I really like. If you read Tesla biography, most of his invention are from the spirit. The guy sees his designs and like he sees everything in visions and he write them down. So if I can see it in his head, he can achieve it.
Francis, it's been nice talking to you. The last question that we have for every guest on the podcast is, what are you doing to be a better version of yourself?
So for me, essentially is intentionally practicing the things I read in Bible and taking the word of God for it. Because once I do that as often as possible, I begin to transform, like transformation happens, right? And when transformations happen, I can be a better human. Like I can see things the way God wants me to see them. I can relate to someone the way God wants me to relate with them. Doing that internal work, right? And another thing is I started valuing my friends more. I'm always that guy that I don't really have time for a lot of things. But more recently, I started valuing my friends more. I started enjoying their company. I started being in their presence. And also my sibling, I started like taking them more seriously. Like I started like paying more attention to my siblings. We talk and all, but I started getting more interested. Like the same way I invest in other people, I started investing in my siblings, especially my younger ones. Yeah, essentially, just
that's a good one.
Spending time with people I love more.
I like it.
So
I like it. Amazing. Thank you very much.